and welcome to Midnight Readings. Today I'll be reading Quesadilla Horror, written by Vanilla Shine 357. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a little fun with it too. I know I sure did. Quesadilla Horror. Twilight's eyes opened to find herself in a dark room. Small, orange walls and floors. No doors. It was slightly bright, even though there was no exact source that was evident. "Hello?" Her voice echoed through the blank space. A sound was returned and broke the unbearable silence. The sound came from the same room she was in, but there was nothing else in the room with her, not even after a second inspection. "Anybody there?" she called out. Silence once again. Then, abruptly, there was another noise. It sounded gooey, even sticky and characteristic. Twilight slowly lifted her head. Her eyes grew very wide, so wide they felt and must have looked as if they might explode. All of a sudden the ceiling, which had just been concrete painted orange, not unique, was pure cheese. It turned to a dark orange in appearance, like a dark cheddar, and slowly started dropping drops of the cheddar cheese substance on the floor. She looked down. The floor had changed from a regular, non-important floor into what appeared to be a flat bread floor, spongy in texture, softer. How could this be? The floor colour changed to a light tan with spots of light brown scattered across its surface. She checked the bottom of her hooves. It had breadcrumbs stuck to them. Where was she? She heard a crash and gasped. Turning her head, she saw a mirror appear, falling from the non-visible sky. In the mirror, her reflection showed. It was herself, but not herself. It was her as a filly, blank flank, no wings, short with big eyes. How was this possible? A deep laugh haunted the area, loud and evil. As if Freddy Fazbear's himself was about to jump out at Twilight. But that was the least of her worries. The only thing in her mind was the hope that she was not. No, she thought aloud. She was. She was inside a quesadilla. Her legs grew stiff, but they needed to run. Twilight ran toward a door that had suddenly appeared. She found herself in a room with 3 doors side by side. A deep voice echoed throughout the room.
Choose. Choose left, middle, or right. If you're wrong, you'll be welcomed by your biggest fright.
This was not something she could learn or study for. It was a test of luck. Being so smart, she had never faced such a challenge of pure luck. Twilight took a deep breath and took some time to think. A 2 out of 3 chance she would get this correct. She needed to be careful. She held her breath and walked towards the middle door, her purple aura from her horn surrounding the doorknob.
Are you sure?
the voice questioned. Twilight breathed out and closed her eyes. It had to be right. She quickly opened the door and screamed. Twilight's eyes opened immediately. She was in bed, clenching the covers, wide awake already. She looked at the clock perched on a shelf to her right. 7 a.m. Still time before morning chores. Her breaths were stuttered and her muscles tense. It took her a couple of minutes to realize she was awake now, and not in a room made of cheese and bread. She rose from the bed, stretched, and put on her robe, ready to rise for the day, when she saw her reflection and saw something behind her head. It was a quesadilla. It had a large mouth, wide open, and it was about to eat her. Twilight placed her wobbly hind legs on the floor. "I can do this," she said. Soon she was standing and able to move, gaining control of her breaths, still not completely used to waking up in her crystal kingdom, still half asleep, still missing her tree home as if she lost Spike. She gathered herself together. Twilight walked to her bathroom. As she closed the door behind her with her magic, she looked in the mirror, and she let out a sigh of relief to see she was normal. Her usual age, her cutie mark, and no cheesy foods beside her head. She levitated a washcloth and let the sink water soak into it. She placed the cool fabric onto her face. She closed her eyes and rubbed it in. Nothing felt better. She dropped the cloth back into the sink and picked up another cloth with her eyes still closed. She dried off her face, turned around, and hung the towel back up. She faced the mirror once again. She screamed. In the reflection she saw that behind her, the same haunting quesadilla, its large mouth dripped with cheese, its body of gluten, and its small beady eyes staring into her soul. It was just wide enough to fit a pretty purple alicorn inside.
"No! You die! I got my Nutrilite face cream!"
She lathered on the cream. The quesadilla started to scream. It was like extra sharp cheddar to the soul. Twilight had been saving this cream, for she had feared it would return. She was glad Sakura could hand it down, for Sakura had battled a mighty steak quesadilla once before, and she knew the extra cheddar family members would return.
Die, you cheddar-rosing quesadilla! Die!
Twilight and Spike had a busy night of cleaning up cheese. Spike didn't mind too much. He was making cheddar parodies the entire time.
I came in like a cheddar ball. I'm cheesy and I know it, 'cause I'm coming at you like an orange house. You know I'm all about that cheese, about that cheese. I'm up all night to get cheesy. I've got a spare piece of cheese for you, baby, and I'll write your name. You're gonna see me cheese. Let it cheese, let it cheese, let it cheese.
And all was well again in Equestria. The end. That was Quesadilla Horror. I admit I laughed a bit at this one. And I'd like to thank Phoenix Rising, Benjamin Yikisar. I apologise, Ben, I probably butchered your name there. Thank you again to all of you. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Had a bit of a laugh. And I'll see you all next week. Stay brony!